Good evening, everyone. I hope that you've had a great weekend so far. It's for me, at the time I'm filming this, is Saturday night, and I am having a look for the first time at a map of Lake Wateree, where I am going to be fishing next weekend. We're taking a 4-day trip, 5-day trip over there to get some fishing in, and I need to break down the lake and pick out some fishing spots. So for those of you who are finding this video, if you're like a novice angler, or if you're not an angler at all, but you're thinking maybe I'd like to learn how to fish or something, this might be a good video for you, helping you learn what to look for on a new lake. If you're an advanced angler, this probably is, you're probably not going to learn anything from this. What I'm doing is just trying to break down this lake to pick out some spots for myself, and I'm trying to expose my community to the outdoors a little bit, my gaming community, because I believe very strongly in not only being well-rounded, but in also seeing all that God has to offer in terms of nature. So we're going to have a look at Lake Wateree, and whether you're an advanced angler or a novice angler or not an angler at all, and you're just thinking about maybe learning how to fish, I hope that this video is helpful to you. So I'm going to be having a look at maps and Google Earth, see if I can pick out some fishing spots. That's the goal, to see if I can find some fishing spots that look promising. We're in early summer, so it's post spawn. Spawn was really late this year on Lake Wateree, which is 2 lakes north of this on the Catawba River. I've got decent enough reason to believe that Lake Wateree is probably about the same. So my guess is that they're in post spawn and they haven't quite gone deep for the summer yet. So we should still be able to catch them up shallow. Honestly, I've never had trouble catching them shallow during the summer, even in the deep of summer, but I don't think they will have retreated to deeper water yet, I guess is what I'm saying. So I am told that the Airbnb that we're staying at is going to be up here by the Wateree Marina. So we're going to have a look at that area first. And then we'll kind of take it from there. So I don't know precisely yet where the Airbnb is going to be, but we know that it's going to be around here. For some reason, Google is being a pain at loading the high res. Here we go. Here's some high res stuff. And we're also going to turn on historical imagery. There's the setting. And this is from July of 2024, the satellite imagery. So let's stop there. Let's have a look here. First thing that looks promising is we've got an island that kind of sticks out here. I'm gonna use as my home base right now just Wateree Marina, and then we'll kind of go out from there. Of course, there's a lot of docks here that look like they're worth flipping. They're extending out into, I don't know, what is this, 8 feet of water, it looks like. So that's deep enough for there to be fish hanging out on these docks. So good chance I'll flip these docks at some point through this trip. But one thing that looks really promising here is we've got an island sticking out here that's got a steep drop off on the west side of it. Kind of like that. So, and that's a drop off into 10 or 11 feet of water right here. So that looks like it'll be good. If fish are pushing up bait fish onto a flat, they might get them up on here and up on here. Either way, whether it's the steep bank or whether it's these small flats here, those are probably pretty promising locations. So since it's right nearby, that'll probably be one of the first places I hit. Fish that are retreating back toward the main lake from the spawn are going to come through here. This bridge is going to be a great choke point. 21 feet deep at the bridge, so that's going to be a good spot as well. Let's have a look at this on satellite imagery. There's the island we were talking about. This west side will be the steep side. Then there's a flat. Let's bring that island back up here. Then there is a flat right here, and a flat here. If we got some fish that are hunting up shallow, they're going to be along here. It's really hard to tell on the satellite imagery what this is. I'm going to presume that's a walkway to that island. What is this? Let's look at this on Google Maps and see what it is. I'm guessing it's some sort of park or something. Well, okay. Yeah, it's not really marked, is it? Okay. Well, island. Looks like a good spot, so if it looks like fish are up really shallow, I might come along here and flip this, but right now I think this western shoreline is more promising. Maybe there's some laydowns over there. I won't know until I get there, but we got some docks extending way out into the water over here too. I wonder if this lake fluctuates. Let's look at the historical imagery. Going back to 2022. Hold up. See, July 24, January 22. You can tell there are no leaves on the trees, and the no leaves on the trees tell us that maybe the lake was down in 2022, so maybe it fluctuates a bit. Let's have a look at this spot right here, because we can see that. We can see that in 24 and 22. Yeah, looks like the lake was down a little bit when this picture was taken, so that's going to be good to know, because we can find some spots in the water. Like this looks promising here. All right, can't see anything here in the 2024 image, but in the 2022 image, we have a bunch of rocks sitting off this point. So if the water is up when we're there next weekend, this is going to be a really good spot. All right, moving on, we're going to go have a look at these docks off to the west of the island. This is the 2022 image. The 2024 image, the water is up. I wonder if this is some sort of artifact or from the satellite image, or if that is something under the water that you can see with the water being that low. What is the water depth there? That would be the 1-2 second dock up. Now there's nothing marked there. So I'm gonna guess that is an artifact from the satellite photo, and that's not really anything there. So okay, no problem. Let's move on. All right, let's have a look at the bridge. This is again the 2022 photo when the lake was down. 2024 lake is up. And you can see there's a bunch of shoreline that you can't see there. Let's look and see if we can see anything sitting in the water. We got some power lines running across here. Well, we got this little point sticking out here that's got a bunch of rocks sitting off of it. Go to 2024. Okay, and those rocks are underwater. So this is a point that would probably be holding some fish right here. They'll have the rock structure here that they can hang around, especially that rock right there that's sticking up. So this is going to be a good spot to fish too. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this and I'm going to zoom it out. Then we're going to get the Windows snipping tool. We are going, let's see, let's zoom this in a little bit more. Like so, and I need to come out a little bit. All right, so we had rocks off of this point here. We had rocks off of this point here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the Windows snipping tool. We are going to take a screenshot of that right there. And then we're going to take our red marker and we are going to mark this. And we are going to mark this. And then I'm going to save this screenshot, and I may print it out or I may just transfer it to my phone, but it's good to know that that we've got some stuff there. And we are going to save. Let's save this in oh, pictures. Let's fishing. Let's create another folder called maps. And let's save that there. Cool. That looks good. Let's move on. All right. So we've zoomed out and we're going to have a look at we're just going to have a look at the whole lake here. There's a lot of fishable area here. I think probably, well, I mean, you could even get up here and then you got an entry prohibited area here because of the Cedar Creek Dam. Why does every lake everywhere, no matter what state, have an island named Goat Island? That makes no sense to me. But either way, looks like you can get all the way up to the dam here. I don't think I would want to go that far, even though it is pretty navigable up there, it looks like. I see some things here that are catching my eye right away. And those things are flooded timber. Flooded timber markings. One of my favorite ways to fish when I lived in Texas was running spinner baits and swim baits through flooded timber. I want to go have a look at this here. Well, hold on. I see flooded timber there. I see flooded timber there. Now, flooded timber could mean laydowns, or it could mean actual trees standing underwater. The trees that I'm talking about in Texas would be the standing underwater trees. Remember that all these are artificial reservoirs, right? Which means a dam was built and it created a lake behind it. And the trees, buildings even sometimes that are there in the flood area just get left there, and they become good fish structure and good fish cover. And so they're cool places to fish. So I think I'm going to want to check this out. So let's have, it looks like this gets really shallow right here. Looks like they've put a buoy here to mark it, which is good. But there's deep water all around it. So any fish that would be hanging up here, even if they're hanging at the tops of these underwater humps right here, have like ready access to deep water nearby. And that's kind of what you're looking for, because if you're a fish and like any wild animal, you're trying to conserve energy, right? Because you have no idea where your next meal is going to come from. You could either, if you want to get to shallow water, you can come from the back of this creek out to the main lake, or you could just sit off one of these islands where all you got to do is move up and down. It's an easy decision for them, right? So let's find this area of the lake on Google Earth. And let's see what we can make of that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is the one. So right here. And what do we see for flooded timber? We're looking at the 2022 imagery. So the lake is down in this picture. I don't see any trees standing up. So when they talk about flooded timber, what they probably mean is laydowns. Either that, or if there are standing trees, they're completely submerged underwater. There's no way I'm going to know this until I can get a sonar run in here. But I will probably mark this as a possibility just because it's got all these flooded timber markings here. You can see some laydowns. There's some sort of object here. Let's go to the 2024 image and compare. Can I temporarily pin this? All right, let's pin that there just for a moment so we can compare. All right, the 2024 image. Oh, wow. Oh, this is a 2021. Okay, so this part of the lake got imaged on a different date than the other part of the lake. This is a flood. This is a flood condition here. Look at this. 2024. This place mark is right off the shoreline, and whatever is here. Okay, so 2021, this water is all the way up here, so this is a flood condition. 2019, the lake is way down. Okay. All right, now we got something we can work with. This place mark now, in the 2024 image, it's just off the shore. In the 2021 image, the water is way over here, and now in 2020 and 2019, it's on the shore by several feet. So there's something sticking out here that we're going to want to have a look at when we get there. So depending on whether this is emerging from the water or not, even if it is emerging from the water, this is going to be a good spot to fish. So we are going to, let's see where this is. It's that little cove that's toward the end there. Which means that is probably, okay, there's that dock right there. So this is something that maybe used to be a dock, hard to tell. But we are going to, let's move this around a bit. And let's start another screen grab. You know what? Nope, let's do that again. I want to try to get this whole thing in there. And we are going to mark with our red pen something right there. We're going to fish that. Chances are I'm going to fish this entire cove, but I'm for sure going to go have a look at that. All right, continuing on with this cove. There should be, this is a buoy marker, but I don't on the satellite imagery see that buoy anywhere. Look at that there. That's that point coming out. You can see that point clearly underwater in the 2019 image. Let's go to the 2021 image. Can't see it. 2024 image, you can see it a little bit. Look at this. A lot of emergent vegetation right here. And that's not even marked on the contour map. Hard to see exactly what that is. This image is a little blurry. But in 2021, okay, it's underwater. 2019, you can see it there, but it looks different. So that tells me it's vegetation. So we might have some emergent vegetation going on here. So, God, it's so hard to tell. This image is so blurry here. Satellite did not really get a good picture of that, did it? It's not there in 2018. It's there in 2017. This sure looks like Hydrilla or something like that. So this is going to for sure be worth a look. So let's move out. And this is in comparison to that point. And you can see that you could barely make out that point sticking out here. That's this point here where it's 4 feet deep. And you can see right along here. So we're going to take our pen, and that is right here. And we're going to mark this too. And I am going to mark this with a FP for vegetation. And let's move on with this analysis. All right, we've got 3 flooded timber markings right here next to this little cove here that dips in. So let's have a look at that. And that would be this cove right here. And we're starting with the 2024 photo. I don't see anything sticking up out of the water. That's unfortunate because that's really what I was hoping for. And maybe I'll get out there and make a sonar run and find that there is stuff under the water. It's just not sticking up. Either way, if we've got standing trees, I'm going to be a happy camper because I loved fishing that stuff in Texas. We don't have that stuff in Lake Wateree. Lake Wateree was impounded in like 1902, and I think any trees that were left in there, if there were even any, have just rotted away by now. But I don't know when Lake Wateree was impounded, but maybe we've got some timber standing in there. Let's have a look at the historical imagery. 21, the lake is flooded there. 2019, it's down, and I don't see anything. Maybe there's something there. You can kind of see a shadow. And there is flooded timber marked in that location on the map. I don't guess we went down anymore, did we? Nope. 2018, 17, water's up. 16, the water is down a little bit, but I think this is just gunk on the water, just artifacts from the satellite photo. So I don't know. The best look we have at this is from 2019, and that photo is clear enough that that looks like something sticking up out of the water. So we're going to go back to our screenshot, and we are going to take the pen and we're going to mark this entire shoreline here, and we're going to mark that with a T for timber. And then I think we're going to save this one. All right, there we go. Let's find another spot. All right, so we've moved back up the lake a little bit, and I see a lot of things that look really good here. Number one is we have this area around this island that looks good to me for several reasons. Number one, there's a flooded timber marking here. Number two, we have an outside channel swing here. Number three, we have islands with steep banks along here. I mean, these are steep drop-offs. We're going from like 9 feet to 20, 30 feet of water in a very short distance here. So these are like steep underwater drop-offs, right? We got, and that's going back into a little pocket here. I'd be really shocked if there are no fish in here. I would be very, very shocked. Same thing right here, and this has the bonus of a flooded timber marking. I'm for sure going to be looking at that on the satellite. Really steep underwater drop off here, a nice little ditch here right next to a very shallow area. Just a lot of really good spots in here. I will probably run all through here, but there are some points that I'm going to pay particular attention to, and they are this area here and this flooded timber marking here. So let's go to Google Earth, and let's zoom out from what I was looking at earlier. Let's come over here. Let me compare island shapes. That is it right here. So I want to look at this spot right here where that's marked flooded timber. Let's start with the 2024 photo, and you can see clearly these are laydowns, and these are laydowns that come way out into the water. Like they're out past the 10-foot marker or more. So another laydown here. I'd have a hard time believing there are no fish sitting in here. So this is for sure going to get a marking. Let me get this situated here, and let's start a new screenshot. And we'll just get all three of these big islands in here, because I'm gonna for sure look at them all. Let me maximize this so it's a little easier to work with. The flooded timber spot, absolutely, you're getting looked at, and I'm going to mark you with a T because I can actually see the timber down there on the satellite. Let's go back to 2023. Looks like the water was up a bit in 2023. Look at this. There's some more laydowns here. If the water comes up a little more, then yeah, see, we got more laydowns right here, and these are underwater. Not out as far as these, but they still really good. I will definitely be flipping them with a Texas rig or a jig. Let's put it that way. 2021, the lake is flooded. You can't even see those laydowns anymore. Or maybe the angle of the satellite photo is such that the tall trees here on the shoreline are blocking them. Hard to tell. But we know it's there, so that's cool. 2019. Looks like the lake's down a bit. Yeah, lake's down a bit, so maybe we can see something else sitting out there. Unfortunately, these shadows really mess up the look at it. 18, cloud cover, that's not helpful. Oh, really good look at it, and oh, that's also 2018. Let's see, this was September 2018, and this is May 2018. Another laydown right here that we didn't spot in the first one, another one here. And because we got a better angle on this shoreline now, you can see them very clearly. Here's some more back here. How deep is that water back there? Okay, so that's really shallow water back there. But we have some really good laydowns in here. And even if that's all there is, this is probably really good. If there's also some flooded trees down here, this is going to be so money. It's going to be so money. All right, moving on to this island now. Let's have a look. I'm especially interested in this shoreline on the island, this point, and this area right here where you have some shallow stuff right here. If I were a largemouth bass, I would just sit up here, depending on which way the wind was blowing, and just wait for bait fish to be coming along here and then ambush them. That's what I would do, and I presume that's what a real largemouth bass would do too. So let's go have a look at that. That is this island right here, and you can even see that hump under the water just a bit in this 2018 photo. Let's come to the 2024 photo. The water's down. This is actually sticking out of the water. Wow. So unfortunately, it's just a little too blurry to see anything. You can see that one of these buoys out here. Wow, unfortunately, it's too blurry to really make out anything there. But now that we know the water is down, we can have a look at a couple things here. Looks like some laydowns right here. This one's a little hard to make out. This is definitely a log just laying in the water. And then when we go back to the 2021 photo, that's underwater. So is this, that's underwater. Is that just crud on the water, or is that where that no, that's not anywhere near where that island is. Let's put a marker here. I'm going to put a marker right above it because I don't want to block the view of it, but all right. And then let's switch back to the 2021 photo. Yeah, completely underwater. So this is probably just trash on the water. The water is really dirty here in this 2021 photo, like muddy, chocolate milky even. 2019, that's out of the water again. 2018, you can barely see it under the water. 2017, you can see it under the water. So, oh, look what we have here. All right. And shadows are keeping us from seeing it in the more recent satellite imagery, but it looks like we've got some laydown stuff right here. Lots of stuff laying in the water right here, sticking out from the shoreline. So Looks like we have some submerged timber here. This is obviously a hazard we got to be really careful about. I wonder if this is marked a hazard area because there's stuff under the water here too. It's just going to take a sonar run. But let's go and we are going to mark this too. And we'll just mark this whole thing. The reality is, I think when I get out there, I'm going to run this entire shoreline. I'm going to hit this point really hard. Now that I know there's laydown stuff out here, I'll probably flip that. But this entire area just looks really good. Honestly, it just looks good. All right, then finally, let's have a look at this third island down here. Let's look at it on the map. Not as promising as the other areas, although you do have a nice little ditch coming up in here. That's pretty good. Again, you've got the steep bank here with this shallow area. Maybe fish will be sitting on that. This entire bank looks good. I think this will probably be worth it. It doesn't it doesn't tickle my fancy the way that these other two spots do, but I think it's worth having a look at. Let's have a look at the satellite on that one and see what the historical imagery looks like. Let's come back to present day first. Shadows make that, whatever that is, really hard to make out. Now, hold on, let's see. With this being a ditch that comes up back in here, oh wow. This is actually now starting to tickle my fancy like the others. I love all the laydowns here. You can even see one sitting in the deeper water right there. Let's look at 2021. Lake's up a bit, doesn't give us much. 2019, when it's down, you can see all this stuff. Yeah. This little saddle here, good spot. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here that looks really attractive. These trees are sticking way out there, which means if the water is up, I'm guessing, I don't know, I'll have to look and see if 2024 is like a normal level. This is from November of 2024. Just the fact that they stick way out here like this means the fish can use this for cover, and they've got deep water like right there. Maybe. What do we got? We got 1, 2, 3. So this is probably like 7 feet, 8 feet, but it's right there. And then they just have to scoot on out here a little bit if they really need to get into the deep stuff. This is too good not to pass up. And it looks like it's this south bank of this island that's really gnarly. Let's see if we can find anything on the north bank of this. Maybe we get a different satellite angle or something. But man, that south bank just looks amazing in terms of cover. That tree's been there a long time. Yeah, don't see much on the north bank, but man, that south bank is just really good. Really good. So let's come back to our screenshot. We are going to take our marker and south bank, probably all around here. You were getting attention. Let's save that. And oops, sorry there were windows. There we go. Let's find us another part of the lake. Okay. So that was on the south side of the lake here. Oh, what do we have here? We have an island out next to deep water, and it's marked flooded timber. And these flooded timber markings are way away from the shoreline, so this is going to be worth a look. God, look at this outside channel swing right here. It's just so good. So good. But so this is a bit far away from the main channel, but there is deep water nearby. So let's go look at this island on the satellite and see what we can find there. And that would be this island right here. Let's come up to the 2024. And you can see that point. Looks like the water is a bit low. This is from July 2024, this part of the lake. And it looks like in July the water was down a little bit. You can see that point is out of the water. So that's at a 4-foot marker. So the lake's 4 feet, maybe 5 feet down right here. So we ought to see something, and we do see a laydown right here. Water's a little too ripply to see if anything's sticking up. Let's have a look at some historical imagery. Lake is up here. You can still see that laying down there. And it sticks way out there. Like that's sticking out into probably close to 10 feet of water by the time you get to this point. That's good. I like it. 2019. Oh, yeah. Lake is really down here. That tree isn't even down yet in 2019, but look at all these guys here. Wow, 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 wow. Yep. That looks good. I'm going to take a screenshot of this entire, let's start a new one. And I'm going to get this entire thing here because I think I want to check out all 3 of these islands. Okay, gotta watch out. We got some really shallow water here. What did that look like then? Okay. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, that's good. This looks like this western shoreline of this island is the money one. Got some good stuff here too. But man, that is... I will eat my shorts if there's not a fish up there. So, boom. T. That is just really good. And what is this here? Is this a boat? That's a boat, I think. Yeah, that looks like a boat. Let's look at a couple other images. That was 2019. Let's look at 2018. That's really dark and blurry, hard to see. Again, 2018, September 2017. Yeah, it's just showing us kind of the same stuff. September 2016. October 2015. That's too blurry. Same for, that's another one from 2015. Why did we take so many photos of this in October 2015, I wonder? Another one? Another one? Did something happen, I wonder, in October 2015? And here's October 2014. Okay. So we're not seeing anything we didn't already see in the 2019 imagery, and that is just some amazing fallen timber out here. This is from December 2019. Lake was really low. I wonder if they drew it down for something. But yeah, that's just great. That's great. Love it. Okay. Let's look at this next island over here. I'm a little yeah, these look a little less intriguing on the contour map. Although honestly, the south end of this island looked the best to me on the contour map, not this one, but man, that's the money spot right there. Oops. Let's Control Z that. Let's have a look at this other island over here. It's getting hit with some shadow in the July 2024 imagery, so wow, the next image on that is February of 2021. Man, this is gnarly in here. That looks good, and the shadows are going that way, so I can't tell. Is this something growing in the water? That's hard to tell. Let's go back a little bit. December 2019. Oh, that's a tree that's down. The trunk was just covered in the 2019 photo. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, that looks good. 2018, what? Oh my goodness. Oh, it's a cloud blocking it there. 2018, that's a neat little point that's sticking off the north there. That might be good too, but man, this island is good too. I'm gonna mark that there with a T, but that I may hit that point just to have a look, especially if it's underwater. What does it look like in 24? Yeah. Okay. All right. The next island, this is a little bit shrouded in shadow in the 2024 imagery too. 2021. Wow. Something here. Oh my goodness. This is when the lake was flooded. You could tell. Now it's down. Okay, now it looks a little less impressive. It looks like there's one of those artificial roosts there. So I may not be able to get as close to that, but shrouded. Got a lay down there and then a blur spot on the image. But that is not there. That tree is not there in 2019. Might be there. I don't know. All right, that island looks a little less impressive, but if I've got some spare time while I'm doing these other two islands, I might hop over here and hit this one too. All right, next up, as we move back up the lake from the dam, there are a couple of areas here that interest me because you have an outside channel swing right here. So you got a channel swing here and then a cove right off of it. Then you have a channel swing here and then some features, some underwater structure off of it and another cove. And this is right off of the cove where I'm going to be coming out from the Airbnb. So I'll take off from the Airbnb, come across this bridge, or come under the bridge, out here into the main lake. And then we've got these two spots here. Coves that are off of outside channel swings have typically been very good for me, especially on Lake Wylie. And since this is a similar lake, I'll probably have a look at these. Don't know that there's a whole lot feature wise here, although we might be able to see when the lake is down something going on here. So let's find that. Boom, Beavers Down Wateree Marina. So that is going to be these next two coves down, this one and this one, I believe. Hard to tell here. Let's go back on the satellite imagery because there's some cloud cover that's really obscuring that. All right, that's where we're coming out. And yeah, this is this cove here. So, back to 2024, this is all obscured by cloud, so we're not going to really learn much from this, I think. 2022. It's like some guys fishing out here. And they're fishing right on the channel drop off right here. That's funny. Plain as day, they're sitting on that steep channel drop. That's hilarious. 2021. Not much. I mean, I will probably hit all these docks with Texas rigs and weightless flukes or weightless Senkos, one of the two, whatever I happen to be rolling at the time. What do we have here? We have the lake down in December of 2019, and there's some vegetation coming up through the water there. So looks like vegetation will grow off this if it's shallow enough. And maybe there's even vegetation under there when it's not as shallow. March 2019, it's gone. 2018, 2017. 16, 15, still 15, 14, 14, earlier 14, 13. Yeah, that's the only really good look we get at it, I'm afraid. Was it 19 or was it 18? I can't remember now. Yeah, December 2019. So, good chance there's underwater vegetation there even when the lake is up. That's going to be worth a look. And we're going to mark this with a V for vegetation. And I think that's good. So yeah, there we go. That looks like a good spot, I think. Either way, given that I have the time, I will come in here because these are outside channel swings. I'm going to come in here and have a look and we'll see what happens. All right, one last thing I want to look at. We are going up the lake from the Wateree Marina now up to the next major cove slash feeder creek. And I see a lot of flooded timber flags in here. So let's go have a look at this on the satellite. We're going to come to the 2024 imagery. All right, there's the Wateree Marina. So we're kind of come up to the next major feeder creek. I believe this is it. It is. Okay, so here we go. A lot of flooded, this is called Singleton Creek. A lot of flooded timber flags in here. A lot of wind hitting the water in this creek. You can see some, oh yeah, you can see some laydown sticking out here. A little further up in that area. I'll tell you what, I'm seriously thinking about running 2 different Texas rigs because there's so much flooded timber in here. Let's go back on the satellite now. 22, lake is down a hair. That image is really blurry. That's unfortunate. Let's see. We got 2 images in January 22. It looks like there was some snow here in January 22. That's interesting. A little further back in January 22, this image is a little bit clearer. Oh, what kind of, what do we got going on this point? Oh my goodness. Yeah. And it looks like some stuff on this point. Yeah, this main lake point is going to have to get fished for sure. Yeah, don't see much else. Maybe we can catch the lake down a little bit. Good angle on the photo here in 2021. What's going on in the back of this area here? That is super ridiculously shallow, these laydowns. So, I mean, that doesn't mean they won't have fish. It just means they're probably less likely. They're lower percentage. What do we have here? We have something going on there, don't we? Oh, 2019 doesn't give us a better look at it because it looks like the wind's blowing on it. Where is this? This is right off that. Oh, I don't know. Hard to tell. There's something going on there. So we'll have to have a look at that. We'll probably fish all these docks for sure, especially if they're wood. Let's see if we can get a better look because we know in 2019 the lake was down a lot. So, and it is here too. But this photo is really blurry and almost kind of useless. A lot of laydowns. Okay. It's really hard to tell. Google Earth makes it look like there's contour drop off on the land here. Let's look at this on Google Maps and see if oh yeah, Google Maps does show kind of some terrain contours here. Maybe that's what's going on. There's a steep drop off and then there's a bunch of lay down trees sitting here. It's worth a look. I don't know if I'm going to mark it. I think this is going to be one of those, if I haven't already fished myself out, I'll come check this out. That point looks really promising. But yeah, looks good. So I think for sure, because we've got a lot of lay down trees, I'll for sure be running a spinnerbait too. Let's look at one more thing on the contour maps. Now that I see this island, okay, that's really shallow. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Okay. I see some other flooded timber, but and I will probably check some of these out too once I run out of these other spots, but I think we've got some stuff right away. So again, looking mostly for, I see a lot of flooded timber, though that's always great fish habitat. Always great fish habitat. Coves on the outside of channel swings, banks that are right along channel swings, whether they're inside or outside. Those are always really good. Because I'm gonna be flipping a lot of trees, I think I'm gonna do something I don't ordinarily do, and I'm gonna run 2 Texas rig rods, spinnerbait rod. I think I will probably opt for the swim bait over the crankbait. Just because I can afford to lose a swim bait, can't really afford to lose a crankbait. I could, but I don't want to. A jig will be in there somewhere, and then beyond that, I don't know. I'm gonna figure out a little bit later this week what I'm gonna run. I'll do a quick video to tell you what I'm gonna run on my rods, but I like the look of this so far. I'm really excited to go, and I can't wait for this fishing trip. Seriously. This will be the first lake other than Lake Wateree I've had the new Nitro Z18 on, so it's a chance to see some different water, and it's not too far from where I live. So hope you guys learned something. More importantly, I hope I learned something today. And stay tuned, because there's going to be a lot of video coming up from this fishing trip. Hopefully. Thanks for being here, and we'll catch you later.